It's always a pleasure to debate with Nigel. I mean, he passionately believes in the out Brexit strategy for Britain to leave the European Union, and I think it's about time that mainstream conservatives such as myself make the case for why we should stay in the European Union, particularly and provided it's reformed and David Cameron is successful in achieving a positive package for Britain in 2017 ahead of the referendum, which my party has promised to the people at the general election next year. I believe in a referendum basically in 2017 because I strongly believe that we need to see the dust settle and see what the European Union architecture will look like in the next 2 or 3 years. With all the Eurozone crisis now possibly resolving itself, I believe that will require more political union, more fiscal union, more banking union for the Eurozone countries like Germany, France, Italy and Spain, and they need to sort out their own thing, and that will require probably a treaty change. That is the right time for Britain to renegotiate and claw back the powers which we believe are in our national interest and don't need to be done at European level. There are many good things about the EU globally which are in Britain's interest, but there are bad things like the common agricultural policy, like the structural funds which need repatriating and reforming very strongly, and certainly I want to see Britain's role finding a new and different accommodation after the 2017 package, but that is for 3 years' time, not for right now today.
We've had to recognise that the next European Parliament will see a very different complexion as more populist parties are elected to the Parliament, and therefore it's important that financial services engages with political parties from across the spectrum to make sure that every new MEP understands the value of financial services and the role of the City of London in creating jobs and sustainable economic growth across every European member state, not just here in the UK. My sector isn't just one that's based here in the South East, it's a national employer. Last year, our sector contributed 65 billion in tax to the UK, and we employ over 2 million people around the country. So we're a national industry, and it's important that policymakers here in the UK, but also in Brussels, understand the value of the sector to them and to every European citizen. One of the issues that concerns my member firms is the constant debate around the UK leaving the EU. This is without doubt a matter of great concern for every industry in the UK, particularly financial services, given our national leadership role. So I think it's now time for our industry to let policymakers know how seriously we're taking this issue and to prove the case actually that staying in the EU, but reforming the EU, and the UK taking a leadership role in that new EU is essentially important to the UK's national interest over the long term.
We've been through global trade liberalisation. Tariffs have come down, particularly on manufactured goods, right across the world. The EU sells us far more than we sell them. The EU has a free trade deal with nearly 50 other countries around the world, and we're one of their biggest and most important export markets, to whom they sell £45 billion worth of goods more every year than we sell to them. So, I mean, just pure economic logic says that we can go on trading freely with Europe, regardless whether we're a member of political union or not. My argument is that Europe actually is holding us back. It's over-regulated, it's too costly, it's very anti-capitalist in many places, it certainly can't stand the City of London, and it stops us making trade deals with other friends around the world. And my vision is better off out. We're better off having a free negotiating hand and being entirely confident that our trade with Europe will go on unaffected. I remember Martin Schulz, who may well be the next Commission President. He's favourite to take the job. I remember he was in control of the Socialists in the European Parliament, saying to a packed European Parliament, and the Anglo-Saxon capital markets of London and New York, who are the cause of all our economic problems. Standing ovation. Cheers. And we hear this all the time. Nothing wrong with the euro, it's just the evil speculators, the evil Anglo-Saxons who've given us all this problem. And people think I'm making it up. I'm not. There is genuine hatred and hostility of the way the City of London and New York operate. And what we're seeing is legislation being put in place that is damaging British business. And I want the City of London to remain the most important and vibrant part of the British economy. And I fear the biggest threat to it is Brussels regulation.